Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. And you know what? We're actually going to skip the standard agenda today because we are jumping straight into a mind-bending mystery that challenges absolutely everything we think we know about the human body. Seriously, we're exploring the incredible science and the fully documented cases of people physically sensing the pain, distress, or emotions of their loved ones from hundreds or even thousands of miles away. It sounds completely like science fiction, right? But as you'll see, the data is forcing us to completely reevaluate human connectivity.
Section 1. Shared pain at a distance. The mystery. Now, to truly understand this anomaly, we need to ground it in a visceral, human experience. We aren't just talking about a vague feeling that a friend is having a bad day. We're talking about physical, overwhelming manifestations in the body that completely defy standard scientific logic.
Take this incredible account from Dr. Bernard Bateman. Picture this. It's the evening of February 26, 1973. He's 31 years old, and out of nowhere, he experiences this inexplicable event. He finds himself violently choking over a kitchen sink in California. Now, he hadn't eaten anything, there was literally nothing to cough up. But he choked for a really long time before he could finally breathe normally again. Well, the very next day, his brother called with devastating news. At the exact same moment Dr. Bateman was choking in California, his father, who was 3,000 miles away in Delaware, had tragically choked on his own blood and passed away.
Which brings us to a profound, unavoidable question that researchers are desperately trying to answer. How is that even possible? I mean, are uncanny, perfectly timed events like this simply a massive coincidence? Or is there some hidden, measurable mechanism linking our physical bodies to the people we love, completely regardless of the distance between us? Section 2. Naming the unexplainable, giving vocabulary to the anomaly. Before we look at the hard science, let's establish the exact vocabulary researchers use, because once you name something, you can actually start to study it systematically. Dr. Bateman actually coined a term to describe his traumatic experience. He called it simulpathity. He basically combined the Latin word simul, meaning simultaneous, with the Greek root pathy, which means both suffering and feeling. So unlike sympathy, where you're simply aware of someone else's suffering, with simulpathity, you are actually experiencing it at the exact same time. And the crazy part is, it's often without even consciously knowing why your body is reacting. Similarly, physician Larry Dossey uses the term telesomatic events to describe these physical manifestations. And you wouldn't believe it, but the medical literature is full of these cases. There's a documented case of a twin at university who cut his finger quite badly with a carving knife. He didn't have a mobile phone, so he couldn't tell anyone, yet on that exact same day, his brother's finger, in the exact same physical spot, went inexplicably red and incredibly sore, to the point where a doctor actually had to treat it. No way, right? Section 3. The empathy field. Who experiences this? So who exactly goes through this shared pain? Is it only twins sharing identical DNA? Well, the answer points to something much deeper about our relationships.
Looking at data from the Weird Coincidence Survey, which involved over 2,500 respondents, we see a fascinating breakdown. Sure, 33% of these events happen between a parent and a child, but look at the very next number. 28% occur between friends and acquaintances. Spouses make up another 14%. This brilliantly illustrates that emotional bonds, not just genetic similarities, are the actual conductors for this invisible connection.
To explain this, researchers point to the concept of boundaries. When a baby is born, for the first few months of its life, it literally does not know where it ends and its mother begins. There is zero boundary. It's suggested that about 30% of the population, often identified as highly sensitive people, never quite lose this. Their energetic and emotional boundaries simply stayed open. This allows them and deeply bonded pairs to continually tap into what researchers are calling an empathy field. Section 4. Brains and bodies in sync. Transitioning to the laboratory. Because it's one thing to collect surveys, right? It's another entirely to prove this in a controlled lab.
Let's look at the hard physiological data. Academic thesis work has utilized electroencephalograms, or EEGs, and electrodermal activity, EDA, to measure real-time bodily correlations between distant individuals. Scientists are testing the idea of an informational matrix. They're looking to see if this matrix acts as a level of reality beyond our familiar one, where emotionally bonded people remain constantly connected.
To test this, researchers used a simple but incredibly rigorous methodology. Step 1. Take an emotionally bonded pair and separate them into completely isolated, electromagnetically shielded rooms.
Step 2, stimulate one partner with random flashes of light, sounds, or even mild electric shocks to the fingers. And Step 3, measure the brainwaves and skin conductance of the non-stimulated partner to see if their body reacts at the exact same time.
And the results? Absolutely groundbreaking. In 25% of these cases, the non-stimulated partner showed identical transferred brain potentials. Basically, their brain lit up as if they were the ones seeing the light or feeling the shock, despite being completely isolated and unaware of what was happening. This was especially pronounced among deeply bonded couples. Like, there was one pair in the study who were profoundly in love, and their EEG patterns remained closely synchronized throughout the entire experiment.
Backing this up, the massive Rosambo survey found that a staggering 30% of 600 twins questioned reported experiencing a community of sensations. This wasn't just, oh, I knew they were in trouble. It was actual sympathetic pain, feeling a sudden pain, or even developing a physical bruise or blister exactly when their twin was injured far away.
Section 5. The quantum connection. Biological coherence. To explain how bodies sync up across these massive distances, we have to look at emerging theories in quantum physics.
Researchers are now pointing to quantum entanglement. This is exactly what Albert Einstein famously called spooky action at a distance. It's a proven quantum phenomenon where two particles that were once united remain perfectly correlated. If you change the spin of one particle, the other reacts instantaneously, whether it's across the room or across the universe. And get this, researchers are now finding evidence of these non-local quantum effects happening at room temperature, right inside biological tissue.
This demands a massive paradigm shift in how we view ourselves. The classical view treats humans as isolated, autonomous biological machines. We're completely bounded by our skin. But the quantum or coherent view, it suggests that humans, especially emotionally bonded ones, are hopelessly entangled. We are interconnected energy systems constantly communicating through an invisible empathy field.
A really great way to visualize this is through a thermostat metaphor. A thermostat constantly reads a room and adjusts to maintain a set temperature, right? Well, systems theory suggests entangled people instantaneously and usually unconsciously sense physiological or emotional shifts in a loved one, even from far away. Our bodies subtly compensate and react to preserve that emotional symmetry. We essentially act as biological thermostats for the people we love.
Section 6. Are we one body? Rethinking human connection. Let's see how all this remarkable evidence builds up to completely deconstruct our traditional concept of the individual self.
As researchers exploring connectivity have noted, this data forces us into a beautiful but honestly startling realization. The boundaries of our own skin might just be an illusion. If our nervous systems are truly entangled with those we care about, we can never be completely certain where our individual self stops and where the physical reality of others begins. So, if our brains and bodies can physically mirror the pain, the shock, and the emotions of those we love across thousands of miles, which is proven by EEGs and undeniable human experience, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. If you are quite literally feeling the sensations of your parent, your twin, or your best friend, where do you truly end, and where do the people you love begin? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the boundaries of what you know.